Hello and welcome. On this week's episode, we are back after a not so brief hiatus due to my surgery and our busy season. We are back and we'll go over what we've been up to over all that time. We miss you and we're glad you're back with us. But on this week's episode, we are going to talk about the trailers that premiered at DC Fandome, specifically trailers from The Batman, Black Adam, and Peacemaker.
Ooh.
Arthur thinks there's way too much stuff getting made, and I think there's not enough stuff getting made.
That's
going to lead to some fun discussions. And it is true. Thank you. Also, we've got new stuff from Sony and Marvel, or is it Marvel and Sony? I think you got your Sony in my Marvel, and I think you got your Marvel in my Sony. But I like the way it all tastes. Arthur hates it all, so that's again more of the same. And on stuff we know that you like and I like and Arthur likes and everybody likes, we talk what we do in the shadows. And of course, Netflix's huge hit, Squid Game. I've been standing on my soapbox talking about Korean death game horror and Asian death game cinema, and I'm glad the rest of you all finally coming along for the ride. So join us this week on I wasn't sure what I was expecting there. It's like Halloween season, so I knew you'd do something evil.
Oh yeah, man! I'm just excited to be back. The evil just crept right out of me right there.
Oh man, I'm so excited to be back. I'm so fucking rusty, man. There's gonna be so much editing.
Tommy's back. Tommy's back from his harrowing adventures. Harrowing adventures.
Yeah. So I had surgery while we were away. Gosh, it's been like 2 months since we've done this.
I know, but I'm just glad we're back.
Surgery was rough, but I'm feeling better now. My hearing is actually slowly improving. It's a slow process. You got to grow nerves and blood vessels.
That's so awesome.
But I am bionic now. I'm a fucking cyborg.
Hell
they have built me back better, stronger. Faster.
Better, stronger, faster. Look at him
go.
Maybe
stronger and faster since pumpkin season's over. I always joke I get my beach body in November lifting 100-pound, 125-pound pumpkins for 8 weeks. We'll put it on you. And I was pretty skinny following surgery because, you can't eat very much and you feel like crap for about a month and a lot of weird side effects that I won't get into now. But yeah, it was something, but I feel much better. The tumor's gone. Tumor test totally not cancer, completely 100% not cancer.
Fantastic.
Which is the best news. And it's starting to heal up. I got a cool scar from it. And what are you going to do? You move on, right?
That's freaking awesome, man. I mean, I was pulling for you the whole time. It's so beautiful that we started this podcast and stuff. It just like made us get closer and closer together, it's not like this was like cancer or like
life-threatening thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But still it puts you out and it just seems like, you're so much better coming out on the other end of it. Cause you kind of experience like this hearing loss and now like the idea of it coming back, that's so fantastic, man.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. Low frequency sounds are making me nauseous because I'm hearing them, which is fucking weird. But like headphones feel strange because it feels like I'm not hearing out of my good ear because I am hearing out of my bad ear, which is it's just hard to explain because your brain gets so used to processing sound a certain way. And then when you suddenly add this whole other sensor for that, it's a little disorienting, but it's coming back slowly. And I think that's really helping, but I feel good. I got good mobility in my neck now. The tumor's totally gone. Awesome things, awesome stuff, man. I feel great. And now following pumpkin season, I am jacked. Oh my God. Let me tell you, I am in like fighting shape at this point. I'm slimmed down. My belt don't fit. It's just I can't get it tight enough, and I'm ripped. I'm ripped from lifting pumpkins, and you were doing pumpkin shit too.
Yep, did a bunch of shows, like different gigs here and there. It's been a harrowing experience to say the least.
It always is.
Yeah.
It's always you always go into it feeling so like ready and everything's gonna be great, and then you get bad around. And I go and I see a lot of my friends have pumpkin events and pumpkin stuff. Friends with the folks at the Bronx Zoo, Sue and Andy Gertler. And as well, there's a great YouTube show called Carvers and Creators, which if you're listening to this and you know us, then you should be watching those guys. Paul Dever and Matt Harper, both of whom I got to work with in Chicago this year. Amazing artists, amazing sculptors. But like, it's always harrowing. You always finish it up and you're so happy when the last pumpkin gets done and the last thing gets done and you finally get home after that final gig, and you never do as many as you want to do. You never make as much money as you'd like to make. It's nobody's in this for the fame and fortune. The best people in the world I know at this shit still lose money most years. And so you do it because you love it.
Yeah, well, that's the artist's life.
It is. But we still love it. We still love Halloween. Did you go out trick or treat? How old is your daughter now?
She's 11.
That's not too personal. She's 11. So she's still trick or treating.
Yeah,
right?
she dressed up as one of the agents of Squid Game.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, but I gotta send you. Awesome. I gotta send you the video of her.
Oh, I want to see that video so bad. That's amazing.
Oh yeah, she loved that.
We Rachel and I were both surprised that there weren't more Squid Game costumes. I think it came out just too close to Halloween for Spirit Halloween to put something together.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so
it's one of those things where you have to order it from a place where it's gonna take 30 days to show up to your house. You know, like a lot of times you have to order these things like specifically from overseas or whatever if it's not at Spirit.
Oh yeah. There's design time and there's lead time on it. And this thing was just a huge phenomenon. Sort of at the end of summer, beginning of fall is when it broke and broke records for that matter.
Yeah, I gotta say I was pretty proud of my daughter. She has taste, man. Like that, she would pick that as a costume. You know,
I don't know if an 11-year-old should be watching Squid Game.
Yeah, I didn't do it. Her mom did, but the damage had been done. The damage had been done.
Nah.
I asked her, you let her watch Squid Game? Oh, she's just watching it. I was like, oh, okay. But still,
I can't say nothing. My aunt was secretly showing me like, Frank Henenlotter films like Basket Case and Brain Damage.
Yeah,
and stuff when I was 10 and 11. So I mean,
we're freaks though, like we can handle stuff like that, but it's not for every kid.
Oh, well, I guess so. She saw it and she enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And, certain
she's a
adult oriented scenes aside.
She's a freak like me, so she's kind of always like zombie stuff since she was like little.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's how you do it. That was me too. That's my mom, and my mom supported that, with all of her Halloween love, and that's why we love this time of year so much, and why getting to make stuff for Halloween and whatnot is so much fun for us. I got to make 3 pumpkins this year, and I might make a 4th one. I still got one on my porch. I know it's November, but I'm thinking about what I want to do with it.
Yeah, I still got 4 pumpkins laying around. I was going to still make some art with them, just for my social media.
Right on. Yeah, we got some extras. Somebody wanted an order and it was all last minute, and they're like, oh, we got to get it done by this. So all right. And then once we finally were like, but here's the price, they were like, nah, we're good.
Yeah.
I thought this was a collaboration.
Yeah.
So yeah, offers to collaborate to make pumpkins for things. Nah, son, pumpkins cost money. Sorry. But yeah, so other than that, just getting ready to finally have some time on my hands and get to watch some of the stuff that I've been excited. I don't get out to the movies during pumpkin season, and certainly not following my surgery. I didn't get out and do much of anything. So I still haven't seen Shang-Chi. I still haven't seen Venom 2, which I know we'll talk about a little bit more later, but there are a bunch of things coming out that I am gonna see.
Shang-Chi was fantastic.
I know I'm gonna see it. I swear to God.
I was really surprised because the trailer sucked. The trailer sucked for Shang-Chi, but the movie is so great.
Really? I thought Awkwafina looked fun, and I think that the dude Simu Liu looks the part. I don't know. I thought the trailers looked good. I was excited. Abomination is coming back, and I know you don't want to spoil nothing for me, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I know Wong is going to be there, so I'm excited to catch it. I just literally, I think this is now my 3rd day off since the season ended.
Yay.
So yeah, so I'm gonna get out and do things. I'm gonna get out and see stuff, but
don't forget James Bond.
You know what? Can I just be honest? I don't give a shit about James Bond. Can I say that? The same way that like when I mentioned that bit on Star Wars and you're like, I'm tanking this right now. Fuck this conversation. I'm like, fuck James Bond. What I will fucking say is Pierce Brosnan looks fucking good in his DC trailer.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
My dude looks amazing. For Peacemaker.
Oh yeah, I forgot he's in that.
Yeah, he looks awesome.
Yeah.
So if that's James Bond, but like, you know, he looks great, and the whole trailer for Peacemaker looks great. I was saying that the DC Fandome released a bunch of trailers, and Peacemaker was one of them. And can I say I love when they show superhero shit in the daytime? Like, it's so inherently funny, and that's, people forget that sometimes. I think that these are comic books, and DC has definitely gotten bogged down in the dour sort of like, you know, mopey superheroes, but holy cow, Peacemaker looks like My Name is Earl, you know. It looks ridiculous. It looks absolutely ridiculous, and I'm fucking here for it.
Yeah. I'm a bit spotty about the trailer because it's just like, oh, like watch his daddy issues, you know, like, so.
Well, his dad was a psychopath, and they got what's his name from T2 to be his dad. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know, like they're taking some of the characters from the Suicide Squad that were like the kind of the office workers, and it's just really interesting that they just didn't take the whole crew. For instance, they took several of them, and one of them wasn't even like the best out of all of them. And I don't know what they're doing. But you know, John Cena is really good as the character. So,
well, that's what it is. It's a John Cena comedic vehicle. Why pay all that money for more notable faces or names when you just need John Cena? And I don't know who the guy is in the all black costume who's cracking Deadpool-esque jokes through the whole thing, but I love him.
Yeah,
I think he's great.
Yeah, he looks interesting. You know, so like, yeah, I mean, if they're going for that sort of that Deadpool energy, it should be good. But I still think like get like a really strong supporting cast, because like that big tall guy, he wasn't the best in that movie, man.
No, but they're young, and they're gonna build and they're gonna grow their chops, and one of the ways to do that is by virtue of a television show, and we haven't seen much of them. They might be better than expected.
Hopefully.
You know, I don't expect them to be poor. I mean, I'm saying, yeah, they could have thrown a little bit more money in, got a few more faces, but I think it's a comedic vehicle for John Cena, and if these guys can support well, then I'm here for it. I just want to see it. It looks good. It looks fun. Black Adam was another interesting one. They did like the whole intro from The Rock where he's like, I've been working on this for years and I love this property. And then they give you like the little intro business, and they straight up kill a guy right off the bat.
I don't know. I feel like that intro is pretty cheap. Like for everything they're saying, this is the most epic thing I ever worked on. Like they kind of just shot that for the trailer. You know, like
yeah, but it's so early. The fact that they have anything at all ready to go, it's still. I'm really just saying though,
for saying what they're saying, like this is the most epic thing. You never seen anything like this before. Check this out.
Well, what's he gonna do? He's gonna be like, well, you know, I know that Fandome came out. We're only 2 months into editing, so we only have a little bit. So I hope you guys like it, because I think it's pretty good.
It's just like
is that the fucking Rock?
Don't oversell it.
It's the Rock.
Don't oversell it.
He's not.
If that's
he's
what
like,
you're
yo,
gonna
I'm
show.
Black Adam. Let's watch 10 seconds of the movie. I'm about to straight up kill a guy. Yes. Thank you. At least it gives us some sense of tone. At least it gives us some, like, is this going to be Shazam? Well, no, it's going to be Shazam, but a little darker. Yeah. It's Black Adam.
I'm just saying, I already said it. Like, I mean, the way he presented it, we're going to see something we never seen before. What we got was something that was on a soundstage. and just like lifting this guy up, and you know, it just it's a little disappointing, you know, like, oh, he killed a guy. Yeah, we know he's gonna kill a guy, but it's just like I was expecting something that just looked like, you know, a little bit better than that.
Oh my god, you got See, this is why.
You shouldn't have left me alone for 2 months, man. I just got colder and harder.
God. I know. And now we've got to talk about Batman, which is the third big trailer to come out of that.
I hated it.
And I know you hate Batman.
I don't hate Batman.
And you wish
I don't hate
that
Batman.
they would just stop making Batman movies.
I don't hate Batman. You crazy. I love Batman.
Then why do you always hate it when they make a Batman movie?
That's
okay, so
not true. That's
all
not
right,
true.
so then you saw this trailer. What'd you think of the trailer?
I like the first trailer. I like the first trailer that came out last year better.
I'm not asking. That was a teaser. That was that was awesome because it was so much Batman punching.
Look,
and I love it. And I'm here for it.
I love Matt Reeves and I love the vision that he has, but I didn't really care for this trailer so much because it was a general audience trailer that kind of had all of the notes that all of the Batman movies have like all together have had you had all those different type of scenes like, where are you? And and what does Batman stand for? Justice. And what does Alfred say? Sir, you got to watch out. Bad shit's going to happen to you. like,
No. All right. So here's what I'm going to push back. Exactly all the cliches that you mentioned, except in the freaking trailer, what do you stand for? He doesn't say justice. He says vengeance.
It's the same thing. Come on, bro. It's either justice or vengeance.
No, sir. Justice and vengeance are totally different.
But I'm saying he says...
No, wait. Justice is slapping the cuffs on the criminal and taking him to jail. And vengeance is beating that criminal so that he never walks right for the rest of his life.
Tom, what I'm saying...
Those are different things.
He's either saying either two of those things. That's all I'm saying. And look, like I said, I'll give merit to this trailer because it looks fantastic. That last shot of Batman walking slowly towards Penguin upside down was a badass shot, But Colin Farrell, who's like completely unrecognizable in this as Penguin, he's playing the character different, and he's giving not Tom Sizemore, Tom Wellington. I forgot the name of that British actor that played Falcone in Batman.
I think it's Wellington.
Huh?
I think it's not Sizemore. I think it's Wellington.
Yeah, not Sizemore. But Sizemore was in The Rock. Yeah, but he played Falcone. He had complete it was basically the same scene. Falcone is in the car. He's like, who the fuck are you? I'm Batman.
hey, I do the New York accents right. Who the fuck is this guy? Who the fuck is this guy?
So that's the reason why I said I like the first trailer better. The first trailer was so sick. It just everything about it was just an unconventional Batman thing. It was like Batman by David Fincher, like in a lot of ways.
I thought this trailer was just fine. I thought this trailer was setting up the creepy tone of it, and I like that Colin Farrell is playing the Penguin a little bit more realistic and a little less cartoony, because the Penguin is absurd when you look at the original Batman Returns and you see Danny DeVito as the Penguin. Danny DeVito was perfect, and that role was perfect in that movie. In this movie, where I want some more realistic violence and the whole thing seems to be going for a bit less of a fantastic world kind of feel and a more gritty real world kind of feel, I like that Penguin, and I like what I'm seeing so far. I mean, I had the accent and the whole thing's a little.
I'm just saying,
top,
he's
part of the.
I'm saying he's less Penguin and more like just a straight up a caricature of gangster. A mafioso gangster. So I mean, if there's something else in the performance, I'd like to see it, but that's all I'm seeing so far. And I mean, it's not like we're coming to this movie for the Penguin. We're going for the Riddler and whatever else thing that they have happening there. He's kind of like the Falcone of this, just how Falcone was served in Batman Begins. He's just like the first dish, basically.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be great. But if you're talking about the trailer, I mean, I just thought the trailer is a little generic,
Yeah. I guess I see your point. I saw a lot in it that I really, really liked. And
No,
I'm
yeah,
really excited for this Batman movie. And
but it's just like
I
it's like they always have the
I love it.
same sort of like generic clown goons in like each one of these movies, you know. So the fighting scene looked cool. That scene when he's like walking through that hallway and they kind of sync it up with the music with like when he's getting shot. I mean that looked really cool. You know, I mean it's always good it's always
the
good
point
when,
blank machine gun shit.
yeah,
That's great.
yeah. It's always good when they get the action right in these. You know, because like I mean that was always severely lacking in the Nolan movies. You know, the set pieces were great in the Nolan movies, but like the hand-to-hand stuff was always whack.
Yeah,
You know?
I didn't see. I want brutal Batman.
Yeah.
I do. I want the absolute, because Batman is a fucking maniac, and I want to see maniac Batman.
Yeah, the last time we got that was in Batman versus Superman when Zack Snyder really got to do that warehouse scene. That was like crazy. Yeah. It was awesome. I mean, but the only thing is it almost felt like there was CGI involved with it. I mean, and honestly, that's probably the way to actually do Batman. But like, the more you can make it come across real, the better, you know? So...
Yeah,
and that's what it looks
Batman
like in this movie.
Is a lunatic, and just I want to watch him just beat criminals to a pulp. They say criminals are afraid of him. I want to see why they're afraid, and I think this movie's going to deliver that. And I love Robert Pattinson. This, like, at this stage in his career, is so much fun. He was crazy in The Lighthouse.
I need to see Good Time. Did you see Good Time?
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Oh yeah, I got to see.
No,
that.
I haven't seen Good Time either. But like what he's doing now is that he took all that Twilight money and he's just like, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want. And credit to him for doing it. So I'm excited for this. I'm excited, you know, for Peacemaker. I'm less excited for Black Adam, but I'm willing to take a flyer on it. And then the last trailer that really caught my eye is the new one from the Sony Marvel verse, Morbius, which is clearly referencing and tying into Venom, which came out recently. I haven't seen it, but I did have the end credits spoiled for me. So spoilers for anybody who really is like waiting. If you haven't seen Venom 2 by now, you're probably just going to catch it on HBO Max, and you don't mind if I spoil the end credits scene, but spoiler warnings. So have you heard about the end credit scene from Venom 2?
Ad nauseum.
Ad nauseum. So we get Venom suddenly transported or whatever to a world where he's watching the J. Jonah Jameson broadcast from the end of Spider-Man No Way Home, or Far From Home. So clearly those universes now touch. And then in the Morbius trailer, we get multiple references to Venom, as well as references to Spider-Man in the graffiti. At one point, he's walking down the street and you see a graffiti pictured of Spider-Man with the word murderer painted over it. So clearly he exists in the same world.
Also the Vulture.
Well, all right, yeah, I didn't mean to bury the lead on that one, but yes, we see the Vulture as well. So clearly we have the Vulture, we've got Spider-Man, we've got multiple references to Venom. So Sony is done playing coy with this. I also thought it was really funny because the trailer opens with like him looking, he's like, Morbius, where have you been? We've been expecting you for months. No one's seen you. And I was like, that's a great commentary on the fucking movie. Morbius, where have you been? We've been expecting you for months.
Years.
I know, right? This movie feels like it got sucked into the same black hole that ate the New Mutants movie, and nothing good escapes that black hole. So I am skeptical of what this movie's going to be.
It's crazy what the landscape of this year was supposed to be, because so much of the stuff that came out this year is supposed to come out last year. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And everything keeps getting pushed back and moved around, and Morbius kind of got lost in all that shuffle. But I gotta say, I don't hate Jared Leto, like, in what I'm seeing of him, of the role. Like, I feel like
Jared Leto
feels like Morbius.
This has been Jared Leto's decade, man. Like the same time Matthew McConaughey had the reconnaissance. Like Leto has just been grabbing everything up, and like you've seen him in the not Versace. Was it Versace? Like
Might have been
the movie that he's doing with Lady Gaga. Like they're all like playing Italians.
Yeah.
He looks amazing in that. He's playing a caricatured like older Italian gentleman, but like it looks like he's about to soak up another supporting nod.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Like he's just killing it. Now my only thing with this is and especially like a lot of the Sony stuff, like they're always screwing everything up. Because, like, I mean, this looks good, but it's just like, who's the villain? Like, what? You don't get a sense of who he's actually fighting. And it's the same thing with the first Venom. So, of course, they give him Carnage, but then, like, for some reason, he's transported to another world. Now, I didn't see any of these movies, for good reason.
Oh, for good fucking. Venom is fun. It's just fun. And I've been reading the reviews of Venom versus Carnage, and people are saying that it's a straight up comedy and that they're here for it and that it works.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the reviews are saying. Now, I know we got to take all the reviews with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Eternals. But we definitely can listen. If there's enough people saying the same things, it might be true. And a lot of people are saying this movie is funnier than they expected it to be, lighter than they expected it to be. It's a PG-13, so it's not an R.
Well, I saw the other reviews,
and they're supposed to be fun.
I saw the other reviews, and they seem to be in line with what I thought about those movies. So there you go.
I guess there's enough opinions to go around.
I'm just like, look,
I don't know.
Look, when it comes down to it, I'm mad that like they had the nerve to tell a Venom story without the origins being tied to Spider-Man in the first place. Like I feel like that's the biggest bonehead move you can make as somebody.
That doesn't bother me. I don't need it to be tied to everything right off the bat. Iron Man wasn't that tied to everything like right off the bat.
What are you talking about?
Need time to develop their ties.
What are you talking about? They told the origin of Iron Man in the Iron Man movie. What are you talking about?
No, but what I mean to say is we didn't get, Thor and Captain Marvel and Captain America and Hawkeye and Black Widow all in Iron Man 1.
I know.
It took time for them to develop ties to those characters.
What argument are you making, bro?
My argument that I'm making is that I don't need Venom to address Spider-Man in the first movie. I don't.
But that's where Venom came from. It started with Peter Parker. That's the whole point.
But you can't do that. You can't. Otherwise, you're not getting Venom until 10 years from now. If you require Secret Wars to introduce Venom, then fuck, man. That's 18 movies worth of homework before we actually get to Venom.
Yeah, that's how we were. That's how we felt about Black Panther back in 2012 when we had to wait for it to come out, and eventually it came out, and it was great.
I am not here for this slave to canon bullshit. I'm really not. I don't need it. And I'm a comic book guy. And I love canon, and I love when they give us the freaking stories, but I don't need every hero on Earth fights the Beyonder, Spider-Man's uniform gets torn, goes into what he thinks is a uniform machine, but actually it's some kind of alien bonding machine. Excuse me. And then he finds he has superpowers, comes to Earth, but finds that it has some kind of malevolent effect on him. He tries to separate from it. It bonds to Eddie Brock, and now we have Venom. I don't need that.
Listen, buddy. What reason would Venom ever have any reason to want to deal with Spider-Man at this point?
You give them a reason. There are these things out there called writers, and what they do is they figure out reasons.
Oh my God.
Venom exists. Spider-Man exists. They come into conflict. Now they have conflict.
If that's the case, he might as well have the same amount of intensity to any character. It's like
sure, once you give him narrative reason.
Dude,
I refuse your
that's
argument.
Some ass backwards writing, bro.
No. Once you give Venom narrative reason to come into conflict with the character, then they have conflict. That's like saying, why did Venom fight Carnage? Well, if Carnage had just turned into a symbiote and sat at the park and ate ice cream and handed out free gift cards to fucking Arby's, then there would be no conflict.
That's not the same thing, man. Like,
but the fact is, he then goes use that power to murder people, and now Venom feels ways about things.
It's far.
We're just asking why Venom feels ways about things.
Bro, it's far easier to come up with the concept of there being an antagonistic adversarial thing between two symbiotes. You know, like that's pretty clear and easy. Like I'm saying Venom. The whole idea of Venom is rooted with Peter Parker. To take that away is just pretty ridiculous.
It's not. You just give him a different reason. You just give him a different. He didn't have to be bonded to Peter Parker and then feel rejected by him.
What suitable reason did they give in Venom?
Well, we haven't gotten it yet. We just know that they exist in the same universe by the post-credit scene. So, and I haven't seen the movie, but what I'm saying is you have Venom do a thing. Here, I'm going to write it. Venom's doing a thing. Spider-Man doesn't think that the thing that Venom is doing is right. Venom thinks that killing criminals is okay. Spider-Man thinks that killing criminals is not okay. All right. So then Venom, while killing criminals, comes into conflict with Spider-Man. Spider-Man somehow manages to apprehend Venom and turn him over to, I don't fucking care, the Avengers, the Fantastic Four, whatever. Spider-Man captures Venom. He gives him to the government. The government experiments on him. He breaks out, and now he's like, fuck Spider-Man. Boom.
Fantastic.
You don't even need Spider-Man to torture him. He gets tortured by the government, and he blames Spider-Man.
Fantastic. Moving on.
And that's 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes. Now they don't like each other. That's all you need. You just need them to not fucking like each other. Venom is violent and flies off the handle. Blah.
Sony, I got your man right here.
Right here. It's not hard. Venom wants a thing. Spider-Man wants the opposite thing. Spider-Man stops Venom from getting the thing. Venom hates Spider-Man. And plus now you've introduced the thing. So Fantastic Four's ready to go.
Bravo, sir.
Stop being such a slave to cancer. It's okay.
Now I'm a slave?
Oh, fuck me. Oh, this racism's killing me. Speaking of racism, I know you haven't seen it, but we are going to delve real quick into not Arthur's gaming corner, but Tom's sporting corner. I'm going to talk about the World Series. We just had the World Series. And man, was it such a clear parallel to the state of things in America when you can literally root for fucking nobody.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of the World Series, Arthur? I know you don't care about
sports. So this is what I saw of the World Series. I was with my friend having some dinner at BJ's, and she's like, "Oh, look, they're playing." I looked. Oh, it's baseball. Yeah, it's the World Series. Oh, wow. That's what I saw of the World Series.
Awesome. All right, well, so here's the World Series. The World Series was the Houston Astros versus the Atlanta Braves. Now, important to note, one thing that happened recently is that next year, the Cleveland Indians will no longer be the Cleveland Indians. They will presumably become the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians being large statues that are placed conspicuously in the city of Cleveland, and everybody loves them. So they named the baseball team after them, the Guardians. Perfect. That's fine. They're getting sued by a minor league men's roller derby team that also has that name. I can't make that up. That's who's suing them. But presumably the Cleveland Guardians will be a baseball team next year, and they will pay whatever sum of money to this roller derby team to get the name.
That's
but they're holding fast.
Hilarious.
So yes. So that being said, the Braves as a team name is not an especially good look. Now it is not, at least it's not pejorative. At least it's not slanderous like the Redskins or something. It's the Braves, which is only mildly better. But even worse than that is the two traditions they have for the team, which is the chop, which is imitating a tomahawk chop with your hand, much like seen in Robin Hood Men in Tights. Let's give them the chop. And they do the chop. But also while they do the chop, they do a faux Native American chant. That's not good. That you really should not fucking do. So while you're watching the World Series, you're like, oh, you have the Houston Astros. Everybody on earth hates them because they were cheating for years and presumably won a World Series while they were cheating, their first ever World Series. So you don't want them fucking winning because fuck those guys. We're still mad at them from 2018. But then you have Atlanta, which is now suddenly America's team because everyone hates Houston. And you're rooting for Atlanta. And then every time you find yourself rooting for them, they cut to the crowd and they're all doing the chop and doing the whoa and like that shit. And you're like, fuck, this is unwatchable now. And it just like, it became such a perfect metaphor for the state of shit in America where you're just like, why is everything so problematic? Why can't I root for anybody?
Right.
I mean, I was still rooting for the Braves, the team, not the fans. But I think they need to address this shit. And their argument is that all of these things are complementary, that they are celebratory. They're not using a Native American particular tribe for their team name, nor are they using a slur like the Redskins or presumably the Indians, which flirts the line with slur. But Braves is complimentary, but the chant and the chop, like, how do you separate them? How you like do over the PA, like, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please not do the chop. It's a little racist. And so's the chant. Like, you can't do that. So what do you do if you're the Braves except kind of lean into it and just declare that it's complimentary and we've got sanction from any number of Native American groups to continue doing this, so we're good. Do you think they're good or no?
I mean, no. Like, I mean, like there's all sorts of different things you could do for a chant. Like the racial insensitivity is just a cultural thing for America. Like everything, like we stand on the bodies and bones and blood of all these people that just have their cultures and languages destroyed. And then on top of that, we treat them like novelties. So it's like, fuck you for all of that. Thank you very much. Like for your game and stuff. Like, you think it's so important to do that because like that's your only dimensional understanding of a people. It's like, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. Like, fuck you. Stop that stupid shit. That's how I feel about it.
So it's not complimentary and white people and everybody basically needs to stop doing this. Oh, and I got a question. How come, like, it's crazy when they show the crowds of people doing this, like, well, no, actually, I'm not going to go there. I just noted when I watched the World Series that there weren't very many African Americans in the crowd at the game.
Because it's baseball.
And I found that to be strange, given that it's Atlanta.
It's baseball.
So I got to go to a Falcons game if I want to see the African American community come out for sports. They don't care about baseball.
I don't see it. Like, I'm sure there's like there's like some percentage of black people like baseball, but it's not typically something that you see like a large group of black people at. I mean, do you usually see
That's true.
huge black people? I mean, I remember baseball was in decline for a long time, so you don't usually see the stands filled up usually.
Well, that's true. I mean, the World Series is always the World Series, and you're going to see a ton of people there no matter what. But no, I think you're absolutely right.
Pretty boring to watch. Not for everybody. I for sure you love it, but I mean, baseball. I know baseball has been in decline for years.
Well, I think just to get on a brief tangent on baseball, I'll give two reasons why I think baseball has been in decline. And one of them was incredibly apparent during the World Series is like Major League Baseball, if you're listening, and I assume that you are, I assume the whole world is listening to this podcast right now. Stop with starting the game at 8 fucking o'clock. All right. Every single World Series game Every single one ended between 11:30 p.m. and 12:30 a.m. Every single game. You're wondering why kids don't care about baseball? It's because they're in bed sleeping when you're showing an East Coast game.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
An East Coast game. You got to start those early. Like, I know that out on the West Coast, you're getting that game at like 7, 6, and 5 o'clock. But on the East Coast, starting those games at 8 o'clock means nobody on the East Coast is watching them. And one of the teams in the series is Atlanta. So knock that off. And then the other thing is that the cost of entry to baseball is prohibitive. That's a big reason why you don't see baseball proliferating in inner city environments, is because you need a bat and a glove and a ball and at least 10 other people to play with. Whereas for basketball, you need a ball and 2 people. And so I like that people like Curtis Granderson and CC Sabathia have been doing a lot of inner city youth baseball initiatives. And I think they're doing great work in that regard. And I hope that it does pick up, because it's less than 20% of the league is African-American. And that's not enough. That's not enough.
I mean, I feel like, when I look at baseball and stuff and think about like the culture where it is right now, I mean, you really have to really love baseball, because there's a lot of like slow moments in baseball, and then you add that to how long it is, and then putting it late at night. I don't think there's I don't think there's much of an attention span for baseball in the broad sense when it comes down to it.
You're absolutely right. Modern media has done a lot to reduce attention span, and baseball is one of those games that requires it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, the most you ever hear about baseball is like the affairs that like some of the baseball players are having or something. That's you don't hear about like, oh, look at the grand slam. Oh, there's a home run. Like, you never hear about home runs.
Well, it depends on how many you're hitting, but I see your point.
That's what I'm saying. But that was the biggest time. The last time I felt like there was national attention was when Mark McGwire was doing those home runs, and also the other guy, Sammy Sosa. That's the last time I think there was national attention on baseball.
Well, there was a couple of reasons for that. One was that they were just coming off a strike, so attention was at an all-time low. And then 2, it was 2 guys competing to break basically a record that was deemed unbreakable. And then suddenly steroids entered the picture, and that record got broken. That was freaking a bunch of times.
Over 20 years ago.
It was a long time. That was 1998. That was a very long time.
That's all I'm saying.
But I don't know. I just wanted to talk about the World Series briefly and say, I'm glad that the cheaters didn't win. I just wish that the Braves would do a little bit more to address some of their problematic shit. I know nobody wants more politics infused with their sports, but it's not politics. It's a way of life thing. You either see these things as problematic and easy to change, just don't do it. You can do anything you want. And other people seem married to like, well, it's my right to make racist hand gestures and to sing racist.
It's American. It's an American pastime.
And I don't think it's racist, and it's complimentary. So whatever. And it's not, but I don't know. So that was something else that came up during the hiatus. And since I do mention baseball a lot, and let's go Yankees in 2022. But other than that, fuck all with this racist shit. Or cheating, or not being able to enjoy things. We can't enjoy anything anymore. But you know what I do enjoy? What we do in the shadows.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. This show should not work. Like, on paper, it's just too crazy, and it works so well. Like, I think about my mom telling me, growing up watching Dark Shadows, and how much she loved the show Dark Shadows, and she explains it to me, and I'm like, that doesn't work at all for me. I don't see the thing of it.
Did you like the movie?
Now I watch this show. No, well, the movie was cute. It was okay. But the TV show, is of course much more protracted and stuff. And I just was like, how do you carry that premise for so long? This show, season 3, every episode, I'm through the first 7 episodes. God damn it.
You mean so season 4?
And so genuine. No. This is season 3
now.
now.
Okay.
I know it feels like there are more seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like there were way more episodes because like every episode's a fucking classic.
Yeah, it's so good.
Usually you go through a show and then you'll watch 10 episodes and there'll be 3, maybe if you're lucky 4 or 5 episodes that really stick out in your mind as being funny and inventive and original. And oh, that was one of the classic episodes of that season's, or, you know, so on and so forth. But this show, every episode is genuinely so original and weird and funny.
Oh, full on spoiler warning.
Oh, full on spoil. Well, you know, it's funny. How much can you really spoil? I haven't seen the last 3 episodes.
Oh, okay.
But it's a sitcom. It's a sitcom, so you can only change so much. And even, and I like I said, I can see the synopses for the different episodes as I go through them. It would appear we're gonna lose one of the main characters in the final episode or somewhere around the final episode.
My lips are sealed.
What's that? Not necessary, but not necessarily. But we've already seen dead characters come back during this season. So I'm not sold on anyone dying being totally dead.
What's the last episode you watched? Because I just want to know where you were.
Episode 7. So it's right after the Gale episode.
What happened?
I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Well, I think episode 6 is Gale, and then episode 7, I watched 7 episodes at once, so they're all like blurring in my head. I don't know what the last thing I saw was.
Well, I'm gonna talk about some of the early episodes then, because I think it's the second episode when it's either the first or the second episode when they travel to to the wedding. And they changed. They changed the intro song.
That was so great when he let in.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was so good.
And then
so good.
Like the guy that was getting married, I forgot. He's basically a friend of
Sean, neighbor. Sean. Yeah. And he's gotten so much more screen time because the superb owl.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. So it's cool that like he got to carry on to a couple episodes and stuff. And his whole thing about selling pillows. Or a mattress.
Selling guy pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that whole scene ran together was so freaking comedically genius, man.
Oh, so much of it. And just him just doing stupid things after they gave him the brain scramblies in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's like, I bought too many of these pillows. And I'm a New Yorker, but even as a New Yorker, they've got the accent for Staten Island down so perfect, and the affect and the behavior of these guys. Like you're not from New York and you've never been to Staten Island, but I'm telling you, they fucking nailed it. It's so perfect. And this is what folks on Staten Island are really, really like, and it is what they fucking sound like. I promise you.
I think the standout episode is basically where they're hunting that demon, and like it's just such a bug nuts episode. And my friend Doug Jones, I love anytime he gets to. Really, I mean, he's been really coming to his own.
Is that Doug Jones in the suit?
Doug Jones plays the Baron.
Oh, right. Yeah. He's the Baron that who's carried around half a Baron for the whole episode.
Yeah. But it's just like he went for years like them dubbing over his voice and him not being able to speak or just being drowning in makeup and stuff. So you rarely get to see him either act without makeup or being able to just really perform while he's in makeup. So like his Baron character is so great. He's also killing it on that Star Trek show as well. You know, so I'm so happy for him every time.
Oh, I've always loved Doug Jones.
Oh yeah.
Ever since Hocus Pocus, his first big break.
Oh yeah. I mean, he was one of my idols. I couldn't believe I was able to work with him on my first movie. But I love when he plays Baron because it's so funny. He's so funny as a character, and just the way that when you see that whole group of characters walking down the street, there's such a weird ragtag group of characters.
And it works.
Yeah,
and it so works. And it shouldn't. Nothing about this show should work, and yet everybody gives such a genuine, earnest performance The episode where Nando, where they have the cloak of duplication, and so basically you have the actor who plays Nando having to pantomime everybody pretending to be him. I can't imagine how much fun that was to shoot that episode. How just weird and just so much fun that episode is. I couldn't imagine shooting it. It must have been a great time.
Oh, what's the actress that she's like their confidant for the vampiric society?
Oh, Kristen Shaw.
Kristen Shaw. Like, it's so great because like
she's so good as a regular.
Yeah, just totally made it regular. I love all the shifting that they did. Like they shifted Colin Robinson with
he's much more aggressive now.
Well, he's great. But they did a lot of stories where they were pairing him up with specifically the husband of
Matthew Berry.
Matthew Berry's character. So like
they have really paired them
and then they had
Nandor
with the wife
Nadia.
with Nadia.
Yep.
Like, so like you just there's different flavors that you've never been able to do comedically before, and they were so smart to do that. You know,
they really are breaking the dynamic of who's usually with who, and now you have like the two sort of dopey ones off getting into trouble together, and then the two more serious ones who are also dopey trying to run the Vampiric Council, which they now lead by virtue of the fact that Guillermo has killed every other vampire on Staten Island. Ty Waititi coming in for the fucking cameo where he's like, you kill one vampire, that's a crime. And for that, the punishment is murder. But you killed 38, and that's initiative. Really. So good. It's so good.
Oh my God, man. It's just
brilliant.
So fantastic.
So I can't wait to catch the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I can't wait till you do.
We got watching that show.
We got to talk about that next week. If you watch those, if you happen to watch those the rest of this week.
Oh, I'll definitely catch those by next week. I'll catch those by the end of the day.
I did want to quickly talk about Insecure. Insecure just came back out.
Oh, there's another show.
Yeah, Insecure is a show that by Issa Rae about like a 30-something and black woman. Like, you know, it's basically based off of her YouTube series that she started over 10 years ago called Tales of an Awkward Black Girl.
Right on.
And it's in its I think it's 5th and final season. Either 4th or 5th or final season. So that just started. I'm excited about that because like a lot of it takes place in Inglewood, and when they tell LA stories and LA movies and stuff, you always see downtown or it's Hollywood or some generic LA, area. And or if they're doing something like this about the hood, it's Compton or whatever. They rarely show Inglewood, and Inglewood has always been like this spot where there's like upward mobility for black people. And like what I love about that show is like black people always look so damn good in that show, and they always like make Inglewood look so good too. Yeah, it's true because like they light black people correctly on that show, like they rarely ever say what.
That's an interesting specific. Are black people not lit correctly?
No.
I'm a white guy. I don't know.
That's what I'm telling you.
Hair. So tell me about lighting black people.
Well, it's been a problem since they've started like photography. Anytime with the exposure and stuff,
it's been a problem since photography.
Yes. Anytime they took pictures of black people, it'd be this black blob. When it comes down to the exposure.
Fair.
And it's the same thing happened in a lot of movies, especially when white people have just like they figured out all the ways to light white people, but while they're lighting the white person in that scene, the black person is in that scene is like not lit correctly because they're lighting the scene for white people, So
okay, that's a fair point. You're absolutely
right.
So
that's something that they've actually really have been bringing to the attention to Hollywood for actually like the past 5 years. So if you actually see a lot of these black things, black projects that are coming out, like they are looking so exquisite, because like they've realized what they've done wrong. You can even see
DC solves that problem by making everybody blue.
Yes. No, but
Black people, white people. No. This is DC. We only have blue people.
even as up to as like Tenet. They lit John wrong most of the time throughout that movie. You know, so it winds up like being harsher and darker and not like bouncing any sort of light or color off of the skin to give it dimension and stuff. So it's like that's the thing, you know. But anyway, you know, if you look at the look of Insecure, you immediately are seeing something different because you don't ever see Black people lit that well and shot that well. You know, and that show is exquisite. You know, that's one of my favorite things about the show is how Black people look in it. You know,
well, all right. Shout out to Insecure,
HBO baby.
I took your advice on Atlanta. Then I'll have to take your advice on this. If you're saying this is that good,
yeah. It's like Atlanta does the same.
Check it out.
Atlanta does the same thing. Like they look good. Like the show looks different than any show that's been out because they haven't been lighting Black people like right for years. Yeah.
Well, all right. So I like it. And one other show that we finally wrapped up because it took me a while to catch up on was What If. The final episode of What If. And I know we got to get to Squid Games because we're coming up on the hour mark. But What If? Quick shout out to What If.
Oh yeah.
We talked a bunch about it. It also looks great. And if you haven't seen it and you want to watch movies that are going to come after it, it's apparently going to be required viewing.
Pretty much. I mean, but what's great is also going to have a second season. Just same thing with Loki. Loki's going to have a second season. Nice. I think What If was great. I mean, I loved that Marvel was able to have the freedom to do a bunch of stuff that they couldn't just like easily and freely do in the movies. You know, so that was always what was great about the comic. I feel like they captured the spirit of the comic because like the comic has always been kind of like their Twilight Zone. And because of that, they were able to do a lot of crazy stuff from the zombies to like the ultimate power of Ultron. You know, of course, there's like little, discrepancies here about like whether they, are following their plot lines correctly or whatever. You know, like
you establish in Loki that Infinity Stones don't work outside of their given universe, and then What If says no, they absolutely do. So there's a little conflict if we're being pedantic about it.
Yeah, but that being said, first of all, stellar voiceover work. They brought back most of the people, but then they would bring back. They would not bring back, but they would cast other voiceover actors who were doing pretty much spot on voiceover work. Like Lake Bell's Black Widow was fantastic. It sounded just like Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, no, it sounded really good. That's true.
Yeah, Lake was fantastic. And she comes from she actually does acting, but she does a lot of voiceover. So she comes from like my little world. So like kudos to Lake Bell, man. She did freaking awesome. The guy that did Robert Downey Jr. was sick too. So he was really good.
That was pretty spot on.
And then we got Chadwick Boseman's last performance as T'Challa. And
heartbreaker.
Oh yeah, so good. His Star-Lord character was so awesome. That Star-Lord episode was just so awesome, period. He was able to talk no jutsu Thanos into just giving up his whole thing. Oh my god! But the finale was fantastic. Getting to see
bringing everybody together to fight Ultron.
Yeah, multi-dimensional Avengers or Guardians. What have you.
And then, of course, bringing along Killmonger because the Watcher had already foreseen that he needed to betray them and that would be the way the conflict would actually end.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of Guardians, just a really quick tidbit I forgot to mention. I just started playing the new Guardians of the Galaxy game yesterday. Fantastic. Story, graphics, everything. And I also started playing.
Even though you can't be multiple characters?
It's fine. I thought it was going to be a problem.
Right on.
I mean, I would have loved that, but the way they do it is just, you feel like it's like they're constantly talking. So it's like, even though you're constantly doing Star-Lord, you get to control the other characters in other ways by ordering them to do things. But like you just feel like you're part of the group because they're constantly talking and stuff. Like, well, it's like really cool. And
awesome.
And also Resident Evil 4 VR just came out on Oculus Quest, and that's crazy. So I just wanted to say, I forgot to mention that in tidbits.
I could imagine that a VR Resident Evil game would be terrifying. I remember the very first Resident Evil game scaring me when I was younger.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like legit, like sitting in a dark room in the middle of the night.
Oh my
just
God.
The glow of the TV.
Yeah.
And those dogs come out from behind the damn wall. You're like, God damn it.
Oh yeah, like remember that first scare when the dogs break through the glass window?
Yes.
I screamed my ass off. Holy shit.
But that horror shit is great. And that makes a perfect segue into our final topic, Squid Game.
Squid Games. Squid Games.
If I hear mad people calling it Squid Games, is pretty funny because while we were in Chicago, Rachel did a Squid Game jack-o'-lantern, which you can see on Instagram at Rachel Colby at RACHAELKOLBY.
Oh yeah,
and
it looks fantastic.
It, and people run up and like you'd see these 8-year-old kids, Squid Games, and you're like, why are you watching that?
Dude, it's the design of it, man. It's like the design of that show and the colors are so compelling and enticing. You know? The name of it, really everything about it is just like, it just, you know, I mean, you know, these kids, like they all got Netflix right there. They're going to watch it.
They all got Netflix. Ain't nobody got parental controls. Their parents don't know how to enable that shit. And they're watching Squid Game and they're watching some fun stuff. I loved it, but this is 100% in my wheelhouse. Now I will take a moment, if I may, to pat myself on the back.
Yeah.
Because I have been talking to you folks about Asian death game horror movies since the inception of this podcast. And I'm just very happy that the rest of the country caught up.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it goes all the way back to Battle Royale.
Battle Royale is the great granddaddy of them all. Mm-hmm. But you have you got 2 werewolf game movies. Mm-hmm. You got Death Bell, dude. As the Gods Will is fucking amazing, and now trending on Netflix. You're getting Sweet Home, which was good, and Alice in Borderlands are showing up. Mm-hmm. So like people are starting to get on the train just by virtue of the fact that Sweet Home and Alice in Borderlands are now trending and doing well on Netflix. Shows me that it ain't going to be long for like King's Game and Werewolf Game and all those other properties to catch on, because they're basically like the Saw of their respective movie franchises. And and I also saw Spiral recently, or whatever, Spiral from the Book of Saw.
How's Chris Rock in that?
Chris Rock was good. The rest of the movie was kind of predictable and Saw-ish.
Okay.
You know, we'll talk about it another time for sure. But Saw definitely ties into what we're talking about in Squid Game, because we're going to get into some serious spoilers. If you haven't seen Squid Game, congratulations. You're one of, I think, 7 people that exist in the world that can claim that by this point, according to the numbers. So we're going to assume that everybody's seen Squid Game from this point forward. Everybody knows all the different twists and turns. Because you have seen it. The numbers bear out that you've seen it. Mm-hmm. And it's amazing. You should see it if you haven't seen it. So we're going to spoil the shit out of it. Spoilers, this shit is Saw, basically. Mm-hmm. You're awful people, and there's a reward if you survive. Mm-hmm. And, oh yeah, the game's creator is secretly participating in the game. Mm-hmm. It's Saw.
Basically. Yeah. I mean, I love the style of it. I think that the structure of it was so great. I loved all the characters. You know, I loved all the inner working stuff that was happening, like the some of the agents within trying to take advantage of a situation by trying to get organs and stuff, and you know, all this intrigue. The only thing I feel like didn't really pay off that much was the detective and his brother.
Yeah, well, you know what's interesting is that apparently that was not in the original script, in the original storyline, and it was added to give length to it. And I think it shows that it was added to give length, because you know immediately once the detective becomes that vital to the storyline that it is his brother that's running the game.
Yeah.
I mean, Rachel and I called that in way early in the episodes that's no surprise. Now his brother fucking straight up murdering him and then tossing him in the freaking bay and getting back to work. That was a surprise. But their whole storyline, yeah, it was predictable and it felt a little fillery, but I did like the tension of the will he, won't he get caught. And I think that it was a brilliant way to give us some of the rules behind what the freaking, shape face mask guys, the triangle, circle, square folks, like what are their rules? How is that structured? What's the hierarchy? That could have all been a fucking exposition dump, and it wasn't. It was so much show don't tell, and I was so fucking here for it.
Yeah. I just love all the characters. I love the North Korean girl.
Oh yeah, number 67.
I watched the dubbed, and I really loved that performance, but I started rewatching it with my girlfriend because she doesn't like dubs. And and I kind of wish I watched it in Korean. So I might have to watch the whole thing again.
All right, so actually I want you to elaborate that. I'm going to take a moment and listen quietly because I heard so much about this perspective and I don't know exactly what it is. So the thing that I know is that a lot of people say watch it subtitled, don't watch it dubbed because there are words that you can't express or things that are different, and that it is the superior version is the subtitled version versus the dubbed version. I've only watched the dubbed version. I have not watched the subtitled version. Can you elaborate on why people feel this way as you literally just expressed that opinion?
So, especially I teach how to draw anime class. I always have to be involved with every now and then it comes around this argument about dubs versus subs. Because some people take this route of superiority when it comes down to, I prefer the original language and I can read, like some people, and then then dub people, they feel offended because, it's not like that I can't read. I just want to not read and enjoy the movie, so that winds up being kind of the point of frustration between both of those parties. So the other thing though, with if you're taking something by the original language and it's actually translated correctly, there are going to be certain things that are communicated differently. Versus if you dub it, because when you're dubbing it, you're writing something that will more or less fit what the characters physical movements of their mouth, So a lot of things do get lost in translation,
So if a more accurate translation does not fit the movement of the mouth, then you just water it down,
yes,
so that it fits within the available time span.
Yes, basically. Because, of course, there's some words that's why they make that big joke when someone is just moving their mouth for 7 seconds and then they say hi.
Fair. That's fair. That's 100% fair. All right. So I could definitely see that being a severe limitation of it. So that makes perfect sense. So and you felt that the sub version was superior.
No, that's the thing. I listened to I prefer dub because I'm a visual person and I don't want to have my time looking up and down. I want to see the performance, and especially animation. I want to watch the animation. But that being said, there's some killer actors out there that there's nothing that compares to their performance. Especially if they pick shitty dubbed actors, because that's definitely a thing too. Whereas just there's no way the Western performance can compare to the Eastern performance. But then it goes back and forth because then there's a lot of great freaking dub actors, So that being said, when I really preferred the voice of the main actor, his original voice, before, but like
Huh.
versus the dubbed voice, which was fine. I really actually enjoyed the dubbed performances, but now I do want to hear the original vocal performances.
Well, shit, you've convinced me. I'm going to go back and watch it again, but I'm going to read it. Rachel feels much the same way that you do. She's like, I want to watch the movie. It's the looking up and looking down and looking up and looking down really like distracts from the visuals of it. And
Yeah.
this movie is all about the fucking visuals. This thing is in fucking Technicolor. Everything is bright. Everything. You are going to get to see absolutely everything. And this juxtaposition of violence over a childlike setting just works perfectly.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it's really good. I'm curious as to why he got red hair at the end of the movie.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be transformative, that he is changed by the experience.
I didn't get that.
I mean, it could also be that, a callback to the beginning of the show where he picked red.
Oh, okay.
Now he's out, he is his character.
Okay, that makes sense.
I don't know if it's connected, but
okay.
But I like it. And I also the conceit in anime where you have a character with change their hair color to shows a change in power.
It just seemed a little goofy to me, but like what you said made a little sense, a little more sense. And then I hated when the Pakistani guy died, man. Like that just killed
heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. But
he was such a good actor.
That's why Sang-woo was gonna win. That's why he played it so well. The actor was Rama Valori, who played Ali, and he is amazing in this. In just his growth and his change, and then at the end, just his childlike. See, that there was something Rachel brought up that was interesting, was that we don't know from this performance, and it might be more elaborated on in the subtitles, if he is simple or like cognitively deficient, or if he's just naive. I believe he's just naive, but I think there is something to be said perhaps in the performance that he is not naive. He's just not educated and has no education. So,
I don't know. I feel a little different. I feel a little different about it because you can see at a bunch of different times that he's not naive. Like he just was putting all of his trust in somebody that he thought was helpful to him, because the guy was helpful to him. So, if he was helpful to him at that one point, why wouldn't he be helpful again? And then he's in this place. He learned how to speak Korean, to go and try to get work. I mean, I feel like this is kind of a hard spot for a lot of immigrants going to another place that that they're getting used to or not, and kind of having a lot of hard times. I mean, that's what I saw with the character. The guy so deftly tricked him, and it's like it. I think anybody could have fell for something like that. He
only tricked him because he had earned so much of his trust by that point, not because he was inherently naive.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
That's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair. I see it.
Because he just had a lot of heart, and he was sharing, and that was a whole jacked up thing about it. Like which even led our lead character to going with the old man in the first place. He in that situation, he knew he didn't have a real shot, but he was like, you know what, I'm gonna go with this old guy. And
well, the old guy was trying not to get picked. He was trying not to get picked, wetting his pants. And then the whole thing before it comes time to pick a partner, he actually, like, as pathetic as he looks physically, he made himself look even more pathetic and out of it, so that the hope would be that simply no one would pick him. And then he'd get the free ride to the next round, which was going to happen to whoever didn't get picked.
I don't think so, because I think that all the peeing stuff, all the stuff was like connected to the sickness that he had. But he was going to be okay no matter what.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And there are some theories I saw online that he didn't actually pee on himself, that you see a water bottle next to him in a previous scene. And then later on, the water bottle is empty and he appears to have peed himself. Now, who knows? Maybe he drank the water and that's why he peed himself. But there's some theories that he was setting it up.
The cancer stuff was real the whole time.
Well, that's real. You know, that's obvious.
So,
real.
I mean, the only time he was in real peril was the tug of rope thing. You know?
Oh, but here's the thing. Another good Easter egg that somebody pointed out going frame by frame through the movie. Every single person on the tug of rope team has locks on their wrist shackles except the old man. If they start to go over, he would be able to free himself. It was a little tiny fucking detail. Everybody else's shackles have visible padlocks on them. His shackles have no locks.
Wow.
Yep.
Oh, that's crazy.
So he
there you go.
He had a contingency
plan.
There
you go right there. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know, because
there's so much little shit in this movie.
I'm just saying though, like when he got picked by the main character, like he could have just easily rejected him, but instead he did it anyway because it's just like he really wound up liking this guy because of like how earnest he was, you know.
And then that turn at the end.
Yeah.
Oh.
When he took advantage of this old guy, but it's just like, I mean, if you're in that situation, what do you do? It's like you
need to live.
You need to live when this guy is, you know, looks like he's losing his mind. You know, but it's crazy that it wound up being kind of this morality play when he called him out on it, you know? Ultimately, what was he trying to call him out on when he's running this whole game in the first place?
And he's cheating too, for that matter.
Yeah. But I mean, he still gave him a free pass anyway because of that, because he just liked him.
Right.
Anyway.
Oh, man. And then you get down to just Jihan and Sang-woo in that brutal knife fight at the end. So fucking good. Fucking good. And of course it's in the rain, because if you're gonna do a final scene like that, it's gotta be in the rain.
Yeah.
The whole bit with the, you know, rich fat cats who pay to watch these death games. Mm-hmm. Of course, that's where that was going. And then that the former winner is now running the game is, you know, I think that's a fun little twist. We all knew it was the brother, but then finding out that the brother didn't die, that he was in fact a former winner, makes you wonder where all the other former winners are. So
it just makes you think about what's actually happening around the world right now. Yeah, even when you look at you know, what's his name, the dude that had the island, Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh yeah, Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, like he had his own private island. Yeah, Matt Lauer.
Where he did crazy maniacal shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean, rich people get bored. Like the second year of being a rich person, you've done everything, you know. You know, so then like
you're just gonna get a second yacht maybe or something. But it's just and I don't know that. I'm sure there are instances like this or something like, you know, The Hunt or any of these. I mean, shit, fucking Mario Van Peebles did it in Most Dangerous Game, you know? Like, there's always been stories like this, and I think that it leads to a lot of conspiracy theory stuff, but there is probably somewhere or Hostel, you know, where this kind of shit maybe does happen. But on this level, I'm not so sure. Yeah. And I do love this genre. You know, big spoiler at the end where it's basically the old man is one of the people who organizes it. And he threw himself in the game to play it and have fun. And because, you know, for personal reasons before he dies. And I get why Jihan is so mad at him. But at the same time, the old man says, like, the first time around, you're totally right. You had no idea what was going on. We kidnapped you, the whole thing. He goes, but the second time, you knew 100% what you were getting into, and you chose it anyway. So why are you mad at me? And it's kind of a fair point. Like,
no, fuck that, man. That guy's psycho. like you don't have to fucking kill people.
Yes, what he's doing is wrong. But if you know, like when they first go in and they have no idea what the fuck is going on and what's going to happen, and then they vote to leave. That's why he voted to let them leave.
That is
so
ultimate
that when
exploitation.
you come back, it is exploitation. It is exploitation, but it's not uninformed. It's not completely uninformed. You know full well that you are risking your life by this point. You are trading your life for money, and you don't have to make that choice. And a number of people don't. A number of the people who vote and get to leave stay left. And yeah, the organization, quote, keeps tabs on them. They make it a point to explain that. But they don't go back into the death game. They made their choice. They said, you know what? This is exploitative. It is a lot of money, but my life is worth more to me. Somebody like San Wu, he knew he was dead inside or outside. If I go out there, the people who I owe money to will kill me. If I'm in here and I don't win the money, I'm going to die. Like, I am a dead man walking in every situation but the one where I win this, which is why he couldn't leave, which is why even at the end, when he was clearly beaten, he chose to take his own life. Because even if they vote and they vote to end the game and they let him go, he's dead and his family is dead and he knows it. At least this way, something good happens. And he made his choice. And it was the right choice.
It was tantalizing storytelling just through and through. You know, it's like you couldn't put the show down. Like, you watch an episode, you had to watch the next episode.
And it's so visually arresting.
Oh, yeah.
There's so many little things and so many great side characters, because again, you have 456 individuals. So you have so many characters you can just introduce for a moment, give them a tiny little bit of character, and then they're gone.
Yeah,
and it makes everything feel so fun and real.
The aloof girl that basically teamed up with the North Korean girl, like, her story is so sad. And then that wild lady was hilarious throughout the whole thing.
Oh, that was so Korean soap opera, like the way that she was behaving. And you always sort of get one of those in one of these types of movies.
she was so good,
brilliant. And then when they see her at the end, where she was like, well, they don't think it's fair when somebody doesn't get picked for a team. So I was allowed to move on, because they all assumed she'd be murdered for not getting picked. And she's like, no,
that's what we all assumed too.
In the spirit of fair play, I get to move on. Amazing. And then she gets to kill number 101 at the end, the mobster.
Yeah, that was
so
great.
Satisfying to watch her kill him.
Yeah. I hate it when the North Korean girl took a glass to the gut. It's like such bullshit.
That was bullshit. Winning should not kill you. Losing kills you. But being a winner should mean you make it to the next round. Not like you won. It would be like if the doll blew up at the end of Red Light, Green Light, and anybody who happened to be standing near it was killed too. That part didn't make any sense.
Well, the thing is, it wasn't their meaning to kill. You know, like, they were trying to put on a show by making all that glass explode for their people. You know, and that was the other part, dude. That was really, the whole time they're saying we made this fair, we did this, but then they started changing up rules like at the last minute. Especially when those fat cats were there, because they just wanted to make it more exciting for them. You know,
of course.
So that's when it was.
The rules only mean something when they mean something. Yeah, like, we stand by the rules until the moment we don't. It's our game. Fuck you. It's Calvin Ball.
Calvin Ball.
You're playing Calvin Ball right now, motherfucker. Get used to it.
Love Calvin Ball, bro.
Oh man. And so yeah, that seems like a perfect place to end it. They're out there. They're playing Calvin Ball. And it ends.
God, that needs to be a show. That needs to be a reality show, man. Calvin Ball.
I win, you lose. And the game goes on. And that's what we see in the final bit of this show, where you now see the dude, out there finding more people to come play more games. You've changed nothing. This is it. It goes on. And I think it'll be fun to see, Jihan track them down and then ultimately get locked in another one. And that's what's coming. It's basically going to be Escape Room 2, where it's like, I'm looking for you motherfuckers. Like, well, actually, we found you. And now you're locked in another one. That's what it'll be. And then that's fine. We come to expect that. I'm here for it. And that is a conceit a lot of this genre. You look at the Werewolf Gang movies, it's now you're trapped in another one. You look at Alice in Borderlands, you escaped your escape room into a larger escape room. Mm-hmm. So that is one of the conceits of this genre. And so if you give me more Jihan playing death games, but this time like as a seasoned fucking pro, I'm here for it. Mm-hmm. I'm fucking here for it. Mm-hmm. And I'm here for you, Arthur.
I'm here for you, homie.
If other people want to be here for you, where are they going to find you, my man?
You can find me on www.arthurromeo.live. You can check out my my YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Draw_really_awesome_wow. That's where you can find me.
And if you want to find me, you can find me on Instagram at Thomas.Olton, and you can also find our Instagram at Tales_to_admonish. You know how they do it on Instagram.
Please
Tales
visit.
to Admonish. Search for it. You'll find us there. Or find us on YouTube or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. And if you would, please give us a like, give us a review, give us your wallet, because I got a gun in a dark alley.
Oh, Batman's going to get your ass, bro.
Yeah, that got dark real fast. No. We'd love to hear from you. So find us on social media or find us in the reviews. And
we're back, baby. We're back, baby.
With that, we are back. And we're back on
Tales to Admire.
Love you guys.
I always have to hold back laughing because I'm going to put an effect on it and I need dead air afterwards. So I'm trying not to talk. And I don't know. God, that was fun. Maybe it's been far too long. Now I have to remember how to edit this shit.